reason we acquired Nortel was for a very few strong values that Nortel brings to us. One is that with the acquisition of Nortel Enterprise Systems assets, we now have a very commanding market share globally, both in unified communications and contact centers. And that's important not just from the point of view of having a large market share, but more importantly to have the momentum on the customer as well as on the engineering and innovation side, which allows us to focus more and more into bringing out new revolutionary products on the R&D side. That was one. The other big advantage which Nortel Enterprise Systems, which gave Avaya immediately, was they came to us with a large data networking portfolio, something which we didn't have in the Avaya portfolio of products. We were mainly focused on unified communications and contact centers. And with Nortel, which had one of the best data networking portfolios, we now have that as well. And the third most important reason for acquiring Nortel for us was it gave us a big fillip in terms of a larger presence and extension in geographies and customers. Together, Avaya and Nortel has today a very large, robust customer base, large geographical presence, and I think the most important fact is that a very robust portfolio of products to be offered to the customers. We now have a very robust portfolio, and we've extended that engineering asset that we have to launch what we call the next generation contact center for our customers, a new experience on both the audio as well as the video side. What we did was to divest a stake out of AGC Networks to the Essar group, who values that asset and wants to take it forward both in India and globally. And with that, that's allowed us to have a direct presence with our customers and also open it up for other partners to do business along with us. Having said that, AGC continues to be one of our most important and key and premium partners going to the market. They have a large legacy install base which they have built for us. They have a great talent pool which we hope to continue to work with and use them as one of our preferred partners to the market. Our alliance with HP is on a global level, and it's in the areas of unified communications and contact centers. We feel that HP, with its large customer base and access to customers across the globe, as well as its robust portfolio of application and system integrators, coupled with Avaya's great technology, which is a market leader in both unified communications and contact centers, should be able to offer customers, a unified, combined offering, which would be a very, I would say, quite a compelling offering for both HP's customers as well as Avaya's customers of the past. But as I mentioned, increasingly the technology boundaries are blurring and customers want a holistic solution. HP has ambitions to become a larger system integrator in the unified communication, contact center and video space. And we wanted, and we are extremely excited for having HP as a large route to market both in India, in Asia Pacific as well as globally. If you look at the whole communication business, it's been evolving very rapidly. Communication itself is changing from being single device or process driven to being multimodal. Second, it's got a lot to do with the context in which each other are calling each other. To give you an example, the devices of future which Avaya has launched with the Avaya Flare as an experience, and then there are devices to support that experience. Support things like, say you and I had a call yesterday to discuss a particular spreadsheet, and we are having a continuing call to that based on Outlook calendar request or whatever. The backend system would pull in the intelligence to pull out the context of the previous call. So you wouldn't have to go rewind on what was done last, etc. The context of the last immediate conversation that you and I had would probably pop up on its own, taking the advantage of the intelligence which is built into the backend. And the third and the most important part of communication going forward is going to be presence. So devices which Avaya has launched and the experience which Avaya has launched, which is called Avaya Flare, allows one user to know exactly what are the different kinds of presence that the other user that he or she wants to get in touch with has. For example, before I reach out to you, the device would know, or the Flare experience would allow me to know whether you're available on instant messaging or on a phone call, or if you're busy on a meeting or in a conference, or your preferred mode of communication is your social networking site or whatever. And it could pull all of this, which is context, presence, and multimodal devices together and make the user experience very rich and make the communication and collaboration people-centric. The Avaya desktop video device, which is a complete touch-based device. And what you would have is an experience which allow you to, at the click of a button and the touch of a finger, drag and drop any user you want into a conversation. And that conversation could be at the touch of a fingertip, either a video or a voice. What we are launching with Avaya Flare is a very seamless, easy to use user experience. So going forward with the Avaya Flare experience, making a video call between the two of us is as simple as making an audio call. And it also supports multimodal communication. So for example, you and I can get a video call started and we realize we need to pull in a third person. We can immediately on the fly pull in that third person, and now we could have a three-party video conference. And whilst we're doing that, we may want to exchange something as a note which we don't want the other person to do. On the same device, using the Avaya Flare experience, you could start a parallel instant messaging session, which is, it becomes multimodal, it becomes context aware, and most importantly, it becomes extremely user-friendly. And whilst we do all of that, we're basing it on a standard called SIP, which is a new emerging industry standard, which runs across all platforms. It's not proprietary or locked down to any one particular vendor. Our implementation of SIP is called Avaya Aura as a brand. Essentially what we are saying is that we will take you to the next level of experience, which is context-based, multimodal, presence-aware, and at the same time protect all the existing investments which you may have by building in a SIP architecture umbrella on top of it. The reason we chose Android is A, it's an open standard, and B, we see a lot of development happening around it, mainly because it's an open standard, open source technology. So there's a whole community which is developing all kinds of applications around it. And third and most important, if our whole premise, which I mentioned to earlier, is based on the SIP architecture, which is vendor independent and not tied down to any proprietary technology, we feel Android plays well into that kind of thinking, that kind of philosophy, because it allows an open architecture where multiple applications, devices can be quickly integrated and embedded. Going forward, we are betting our growth on 2 or 3 key areas. One is to expand our channel base. As I mentioned to you, we went from a single subsidiary to a multi-channel model, and today we have partners like IBM, HP, Wipro, HCL Group. One is to go multi-channel. Second is to set up our own presence across India. We have now a presence in around 8 cities. In the next 12 months, we hope to expand that to around 12 cities. And we'll have our own sales and system engineering and pre-sales technical people who would help these partners go position Avaya solutions and help customers understand our technology and architect solutions for them. And thirdly, what we want to do is that we have historically large investments in India on both the R&D, which is product development side, as well as on the services side. So we want to leverage those, integrate into our go-to-market, and take advantage of those and make products, for example, which are more suited and made for India in terms of feature sets, price points, etc. Look at things like using our services base that we have in India to offer customers utility-based pricing models. Our growth strategy, to sum up, is to go multi-channel, have a strong linkage and invest in partners across India. Second is to expand our own presence and make ourselves available to customers to architect and understand our technologies. And third is to leverage the investments we already have to make product solution sets, offerings, services offerings, which are more tuned and in tune with the requirements of India.